The average YouTube feed is a graveyard of hyperactive thumbnails promising a single, obscure website will deposit $10,000 a week into your account. This constant stream of visual pollution is designed to trigger a fear of missing out, suggesting that if you don't use a specific new software stack immediately, you'll be permanently excluded. Every day, a new batch launches. Every day, the noise grows louder. This is tool fatigue. The tools used by high-tier creative agencies and profitable online businesses aren't the ones featured in these exaggerated marketing hooks. They use quiet, highly efficient systems that prioritize reliability over viral appeal. Professional efficiency requires identifying platforms that yield a strict, measurable return on the time you invest. Discovering 100 random applications is meaningless if they demand 80 hours of training and $300 a month. We need to look past the discovery of the tool and focus on the mechanics of the time-for-value trade. Modern freelancers, students, and online entrepreneurs operate under two major constraints. First, there is a hard limit on monthly software budgets. Subscribing to every trendy AI tool is a fast way to drain your margins. Second, and more importantly, there is a hard limit on the hours available to master a complex interface. You cannot spend a weekend wrestling with an unintuitive prompt box to generate content you could have produced manually in half the time. We are evaluating every tool in this breakdown against 4 specific metrics to determine its actual viability. First, we look at the learning curve, the time required to achieve a professional result. Second, the subscription cost, the financial barrier to entry. Third, prompting time, the complexity of instructions needed for the machine to understand your intent. Finally, quality of output, whether the result can be used in a professional, high-stakes environment. We are ranking 7 tools from the lowest barrier of entry to the ultimate productivity engine using this scorecard. Welcome to Jobcast Daily, where we analyze the digital systems currently shaping the remote work landscape. If you're building a freelance business or trying to optimize a complex academic schedule, subscribe to stay updated on the tools that actually deliver results. In 2026, the only way to avoid being overwhelmed by software is to ruthlessly calculate the effort-to-impact ratio of every website you use. Marketing hype is cheap. Operational efficiency is what pays. Let's start with website number 7 today. To track these tools, we'll use an effort versus impact quadrant. The horizontal x-axis measures the required effort, which includes technical skill and the time spent on trial and error. The vertical y-axis measures workflow impact, the actual hours recovered or the professional value created. Website number 7 is Tome AI. It sits in the bottom left quadrant because it requires minimal effort but delivers a relatively lower impact for high-level professional work. Tome is a generative presentation builder. Instead of spending hours in a traditional slide editor, you provide a single text prompt and the website builds an entire deck for you. To use it, you open the prompt bar and type something like, "Generate an 8-slide deck on the logistics of 2026 e-commerce." In seconds, Tome creates the slides, chooses the layouts, and adds AI imagery. This solves the blank page problem immediately. However, the trade-off is significant. The text it generates often lacks depth, appearing more like a generic summary than a nuanced professional argument, and the layouts are restricted to a rigid grid that limits your design control. This tool is most effective for students who need to create a rapid structural outline or entrepreneurs drafting an internal brief for a remote team. It is less suitable for high-stakes investor pitches, where a generic, machine-built look can signal a lack of preparation. Many users overlook Tome because it doesn't replace a human designer, but its real value lies in its role as a 5-minute brainstorming tool. Moving up to website number 6, we see a similar focus on speed, but applied to video. Pictory is a content scaling tool built for social media managers and YouTube creators needing to produce high volumes of video without a traditional editing background. Pictory's workflow is centered on text-to-video automation. You paste a long blog post or a digital marketing script into the dashboard. The AI scans the text, identifies key sentences using natural language processing, and automatically overlays relevant stock footage from its library. It then generates synchronized captions across the screen. For a solo freelancer, this compresses a 3-hour editing session into a 5-minute automated process. The impact is higher than Tome because video is a more valuable asset in digital marketing, but there is a specific trade-off. Pictory relies heavily on stock footage. If you are trying to build a unique personal brand, using the same slow-motion office shots that thousands of other creators use can make your content feel generic. The audience can often tell when a video has been generated through a stock library rather than a creative director. Tome and Pictory both prioritize speed over creative control. They are excellent for operational tasks where the goal is volume and speed, but higher value work requires a more hands-on approach. As we move up the ROI ladder, we encounter tools that require more structured data input from the user, but deliver higher professional polish. Website number 5 is Gamma. Gamma is a design hybrid for professionals who need an aesthetic that surpasses standard templates. Gamma creates interactive web pages and modular documents rather than just static slides. You start by providing a detailed outline of your project. The platform then renders this data into a scrolling digital document that functions like a custom-built landing page. You can embed live video and interactive data widgets directly into the document. For a freelancer sending a proposal, this signals a level of technical sophistication that traditional PDF decks cannot match. The trade-off with Gamma involves the hosting ecosystem. While the documents look like websites, they are hosted on Gamma's proprietary platform. This means you cannot easily export the raw code to a private server, which limits its use for developers or high-level freelance web designers. It is a powerful presentation tool, but it is not a full-scale web development replacement. While Gamma focuses on the structure of information, Leonardo AI, website number 4, focuses on the precision of the visual itself. Leonardo is a high-performance image generation platform that allows users to create commercial-grade assets without the overhead of a design agency. However, getting professional results requires an understanding of prompt engineering, the process of using specific text modifiers to control lighting, camera angles, and composition. Leonardo uses a token system where you are given a daily allotment of credits. Each image generation or upscaling task consumes tokens. By choosing specific visual models, like Albedo Base XL for photorealism, and refining your prompts, you can produce assets for marketing campaigns or website backgrounds at a fraction of a traditional design budget. The primary bottleneck with Leonardo is maintaining character or brand consistency. If you need a mascot to look identical across 20 different scenes, the AI often introduces small variations that break the continuity. Managing this requires advanced techniques like image-to-image prompting and seed number locking, which can be time-consuming for beginners. This consistency trade-off is why Leonardo is favored by indie game developers and marketers who need concept art or isolated assets, where frame-by-frame perfection isn't the primary goal. They are trading their time for the massive cost savings Leonardo provides. Moving up the ladder necessitates moving away from fully automated one-click solutions. To get commercial-grade results from Gamma and Leonardo, you have to invest more effort into the input phase. We are now looking at tools that function as full studio replacements. Website number 3 is ElevenLabs, the industry standard for voice cloning and text-to-speech. To use it effectively for commercial work, you need clean audio samples and a paid subscription tier. ElevenLabs generates audio that captures human intonation and breathing patterns with high accuracy. For YouTubers and online course creators, this removes the need to spend thousands of dollars on microphones and acoustic room treatments. You can convert a written script into a studio-quality voiceover in seconds. There are operational downsides to this level of power. Achieving exact teasing and emotional nuance requires strict script formatting, using ellipses, dashes, and phonetic spellings to coach the AI. Furthermore, there are ethical and legal requirements regarding whose voice you can clone, which adds a layer of administrative oversight to your workflow. Website number 2 is Runway ML. This is a generative video platform used by ad agencies to create cinematic clips from scratch. However, it is important to note that Runway has a high subscription cost and a very fast credit burn rate. You can spend a month's worth of credits in a single afternoon of experimentation. Runway requires mastery of tools like the motion brush, which allows you to paint motion into specific parts of an image. You can also use video-to-video prompting to transform a rough smartphone clip into a stylized cinematic sequence. This provides a professional look without a crew, but it is a complex skill to learn. Runway offers unmatched creative potential, but it is a high-cost, high-effort tool. It is an investment for professionals who are already generating revenue and need to push their production value to the next level. For beginners, the credit cost alone can be a significant barrier. These studio-level tools offer massive ROI, but only if you are willing to invest the time and money required to master their professional-grade interfaces. The final tool on our list breaks the standard effort to impact curve. It provides high-tier professional value with almost no learning curve. It is a core part of the daily operations at Jobcast Daily. Website number 1 is Perplexity AI. Most users treat AI like a simple search bar, but Perplexity is a research engine that relies on complex, multi-layered natural language questions. You don't just search for freelance tax tips. You ask Perplexity to summarize the tax obligations for a U.S. freelancer earning $60,000 in 2026, cite current IRS guidelines, and list the top 5 most common deductible expenses. Perplexity scans the live web and synthesizes a direct answer with clickable footnote citations. It allows students and entrepreneurs to bypass the hours spent clicking through SEO-optimized articles and advertisements. It provides the raw information you need, sourced directly from the original websites. The trade-off is the need for verification. Because Perplexity summarizes human-written content, it can occasionally miss the context of a specific source. You must click the citations to verify the context of a quote or statistic before using it in a high-stakes project. Perplexity is the #1 tool because it saves more time across more diverse professions than any other AI platform available today. It is a universal productivity multiplier with zero financial risk. The logic behind this countdown is that a high-performance workflow relies on stacking these tools to solve specific daily bottlenecks. Knowing these websites exist is only the first step. The second is knowing when to deploy them. Students and researchers start with Perplexity. Volume creators anchor their workflows with ElevenLabs and Pictory. Freelance agencies use Runway and Leonardo for a creative edge, while corporate and academic users rely on Gamma and Tome for modern visual delivery without design hours. Do not try to integrate all 7 of these platforms at once. Pick the one tool that addresses the most time-consuming part of your current day. Once you have reclaimed those hours, you can evaluate if the next tool in the stack is worth the additional subscription cost. I want to hear your perspective on this. Which of these 7 AI websites would have the biggest impact on your specific workflow? Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the effort-to-impact ratio of these tools. If this analysis helped you filter through the noise, subscribe, like, and share this video. This is Jobcast Daily. Researching and selecting AI through a lens of effort-to-impact calculation provides a repeatable path towards scaling your work efficiently. Stay focused on the data, and I'll see you in the next one.